forward. The attorney for a Baylor football player suspended from the team says there's new documents to show her client's accuser is not telling the whole truth. News 10's John Carroll had an exclusive interview with Travon Blanchard and his attorney. He joins us in studio with the latest. So, John, the police reports seem to be telling the story here.
Absolutely, Gordon. Surprising. Sitting in his attorney's office and being advised by her that they want to respect Baylor's Title IX policies, it's obvious why Travon Blanchard didn't say a word today in our 2-on-1 exclusive. But his defense attorney, Michelle Teagle, spoke out strongly as she referred to a Stafford, Texas police call notes report that completely contradicts statements his accuser alleged in an affidavit for a protective order that was issued in Waco last week.
These inconsistencies and different stories can't go ignored.
Sitting with his arm in a sling from shoulder surgery, Travon Blanchard let his lawyer do the talking for him today. Teagle spoke about inconsistencies in Travon's accuser's affidavit, which led to a protective order against him. In that affidavit, the woman Blanchard used to have a relationship with claimed that on February the 4th, in an incident outside of a restaurant in Stafford, that the Baylor defensive football star grabbed her hand so violently he broke her finger and caused a cut so big it couldn't be closed with stitches. But on the evening of that day, she told Stafford police it was a verbal argument only. Then police say she changed her story when her mother arrived and said that when he grabbed the keys out of her hand, he left a small scratch on one finger.
In this situation, we're hopeful that these inconsistencies, that these different versions of events made by this accuser will cause not only any DA's office or police to question her credibility, but also that Baylor will look at this.
The accuser also claimed in the affidavit in Waco that the two got into an argument after a male waiter approached her. But in February, she told Stafford police the exact opposite, that the two got into an argument about a female contacting Blanchard. But perhaps the most controversial of all inconsistent statements is that when police in Stafford arrived on the scene that evening, the accuser stated in her affidavit in Waco that Blanchard ran off and police could not find him. But in the Stafford police event report, the officer says the Baylor football player quietly stood on the curb until after his accuser gave her statement.
In this case, we are questioning the person who accused him's credibility. And he has said from the beginning, I did not assault her, and he hasn't been arrested for it.
Even though her mother told police that night Blanchard had 2 domestic violence cases in Waco, Waco police told News 10 there's never been a report filed by the accuser against Blanchard. Teagle says these inconsistencies in one of the accuser's stories calls into credibility all of her other claims.
Well, at this point, he hasn't been arrested. At this point, he wants to be able to continue his education and finish playing football. We understand that the university has to go through their process of looking at all of this information, and we hope that they will look at these inconsistencies and these problems and making an evaluation that's really going to impact a young man's life.
Now, Gordon, Blanchard is under investigation by Baylor's Title IX office. He will be a returning Big 12 honoree player if he gets to play again. But for now, again, he's suspended indefinitely. Reporting live in the studio, John Carroll, KWTX News 10.
Thanks, John.